Okay, Kylie, if you were given $100,000, how would you divide it among your community, county fair, and education?
If I were given $100,000, I would divide it by 50 and then 25-25. 50 to the fair, 25 to my school, and then 25 to my community. I'm breathless. My heart is pounding. The fans are cheering. I need to stay focused and strong. Being the captain of my soccer team has pushed me to hold myself to a higher physical and mental standard. In the game, you have to work hard to be stronger and faster than your opponent. And in life, you need to have the perseverance to continue through obstacles and challenges, no matter what they may be. Having to make decisions that will affect the outcome of a game has helped me to see how the decisions I make in life can impact others. Soccer has affected me in such a positive way. I am a better person because of this game. So if you're from Tuscola, some of you may always remember me as a dancer, doing leaps and turns. But in my heart, I've always been a soccer girl, focused and strong. Thank you.
Thank you, Kylie. Contestant number 2 is Elise Hackett. Elise, if you were given $100,000, how would you divide it among your community, county fair, and education?
If I were given money to divide among my community, county fair, and education, I would divide it equally because I believe that all parts are very important to the success of and future of the children.
Go ahead.
Picture this: a kindergartner getting off the school bus, running down the lane, Winnie the Pooh backpack in hand. Her mom, waiting on the front porch, asks what's wrong. The little girl states, "Mom, some girl asked me how I can live with all these cows. And I asked her, do you like hamburger? And she said, well, yeah. And I said, well, where do you think those come from?" That kindergartner was me. Since I was 5 years old, my mornings have started with washing, grooming, and feeding my Hereford show cattle. I may have grown up a little differently than people my age. I may have had a little different outlook on life, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. This morning, the other contestants were up getting ready for this very pageant, but I was up making sure my cattle were ready to show at this county fair. And if you ask me right now how I can live with all those cows, I will tell you, it's because it's who I am. Thank you.
Thank you, Elise. Contestant number 3 is Carly Plank. Carly, if you were given $100,000, how would you divide it among your community, county fair, and education?
If I were given that money, I would divide it evenly in thirds to education, the county, and the community because all of them are equal in my opinion. Accounting. Now hold on, it's not that bad. My mother used to always tell the joke, what is an accountant? Someone who solves a problem you didn't know you had in a way you don't understand at a price you cannot afford. Well, I want to be that person. I'm the type of person that does math for fun. Yeah, I know, for fun. Lucky for you, there's no talent portion, or I'd be up here demonstrating my math skills. Becoming an accountant is a dream of mine. However, I'm not talking about doing taxes at H&R Block. I want to be an accountant for a large corporation. Who knows? Maybe someday I'll be the CPA for CHI or Masterbrand right here in Moultrie Douglas counties. So the next time you hear that "what is an accountant" joke, that's someone solving your problems could be me. Thank you.
Thank you, Carly. Contestant number 4 is Christine Fortney. Christine, if you were given $100,000, how would you divide it among your community, county fair, and education?
If I were given $100,000 to divide 3 ways, first off, I would give the first half to the county fair. I would put the money towards a rodeo because who doesn't want to go to a rodeo? Educational wise, I would put it towards my school, and then, sorry, what was the last one?
Third one was the community.
Community, I would put it towards more Wall Dogs paintings because our COLA had the most beautiful Wall Dog paintings that were distributed this past month. What does the word farm mean to you? Is it the aroma of fresh manure? Walking beans? Baling hay? Well, for me, the 2 words that resonate in my head are dairy cows. That's right, those good old, unpredictable, milk-producing ladies I refer to as my girls. Growing up on a small family dairy in the heart of Douglas County, I learned a few things. 1, I know more about the cow's eating habits than I do my own. 2, bag bomb doubles as chapstick. And 3, to avoid a smelly surprise, steer clear of a rising tail. Most importantly, those black and white beauties give me daily lessons on how to adapt to this unpredictable world at my feet. I can transform from a girl in a red bandana and muck boots to the girl standing here in a pair of heels, confidently saying, "Hey world, bring it on." Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. Contestant number 5 is Tabitha Davis. Tabitha, if you were given $100,000, how would you divide it among your community, county fair, and education?
I would definitely give a large amount to my community. I would hope that would go towards the Salvation Army because that helps local families. I would then divide another portion to the fair to make sure that everything gets paid for so all the great activities can still be there. And then the rest I would put towards a college fund.
You feel like a girl. We have all heard this. Some of us have probably even said it. Of course, when it's said to a guy, it's meant as an insult. But what does it mean when someone tells a girl that? For those of us who play fast-pitch softball, I believe we should take it as a compliment. The world of girls softball, which dates back to 1895, wouldn't exist if we didn't. We play fast-pitch softball at many prominent levels. Thousands of us play at the collegiate level, such as myself, which became part of the NCAA in the 1980s. Girls also play in professional teams, such as the Chicago Bandits and the Tennessee Diamonds. In 1996, softball became an official Olympic sport. So, throwing like a girl can't be all that bad. If someone ever tells me that I throw like a girl, I'll just simply tell them that if they threw harder and faster, they could too. Thank you.
Thank you, Tabitha. Contestant number 6 is Brittany Wireman. Brittany, if you were given $100,000, how would you divide it among your community, county fair, and education?
If I were given an amount of money to divide between my community, education, and county fair, I would obviously split it evenly so everyone gets the fair amount of money to better their area. Thank you. When I say the phrase, "These are my favorite things," what do you think of? Now I know some of you adults immediately think of Oprah. Well, sorry adults, I'm not able to gift you anything tonight from this stage. Or some of you children could think of your cell phone, iPod, or even your friends. Well, you all may be shocked, but when I think of this phrase, I immediately reference my beloved 11-time World Series champions, the St. Louis Cardinals. Yes, you heard me right, 11 championships. Cub fans, aren't you jealous? I love the excitement of the I-55 rivalry. I have to share my favorite joke between the Cardinals and the Cubs. Why don't the Cubs use the internet? Because they can't get 3 W's in a row. I cherish the enthusiasm I felt as a child watching Fred Bird dance around. I revel at the beautiful stadium with the St. Louis Arch as its center field centerpiece. But most of all, I love spending time with my family watching the St. Louis Cardinals play baseball. So, Cardinal Nation, what do you say? Let's make it a 12-peat. Thank you.
Yes, I'm very jealous, by the way. Thank you, Brittany. Contestant number 7, Case Patton. If you were given $100,000, how would you divide it among your community, county fair, and education?
If I were given that sum of money for my community, I would donate it towards ensuring that the roads are safe in our community so we could rebuild that area. For education, I would absolutely ensure that students could have all of the textbooks and materials that they would need in classes. And of course, towards the county fair, I would do anything that I could to ensure that more profits are coming in. So if that means creating more music events or any kind of events at the fair to bring in more income by spending that money towards the fair, that's what I would do. Before my grandpa buys so much as a can of nuts from the local Rural King, he checks the label. He's not checking for the calories. That is my grandma's job. He's checking for the Made in the USA label. Checking for this label has become a family tradition. My grandpa insists that all of his family learn the significance of this label. With the unemployment rate in the United States at nearly an all-time high and companies moving their companies to other factories, other countries all of the time, it is important that not only my family take on this tradition, but to encourage these companies to keep their manufacturing in America, it is imperative that all American citizens make checking for the Made in the USA label a part of their shopping routine. Looking for the stars and the stripes on your next purchase should make you proud to say, I was made in the USA.
Thank you, Case. Contestant number 8 is Sarah Tondini. Sarah, if you were given $100,000, how would you divide it among your community, county fair, and education?
I would first give some of the money to the Douglas County Animal Shelter because I volunteer there and they're in need of some help with money right now. I would then help the school by funding extracurricular activities. I would help the fair by providing money to help the contest to be better. Thank you. to express myself without a single word. A creative outlet to show my feelings, ideas, and emotions without speaking aloud or writing anything down. It's called dance. Ever since I was little, I was mesmerized by these beautiful and poised dancers who seemed to flawlessly capture stories with their movements. I always wanted to be one, and when I got to high school and joined the dance team, I learned a lot about dedication, discipline, hard work, teamwork, and strength, both mentally and physically. Out of all these, I found teamwork to be the most useful, because let me tell you, it's not easy to get 12 teenage girls on the same page about anything. But with communication and compromise, we managed to reach our goal of bringing home the state championship. This was the first state title in 90 years at my school, and it couldn't have been a more gratifying moment than to see all our hard work finally pay off. All these lessons I've learned from dance I'll use throughout my whole life, but the most important lesson I've learned is to never give up on your dreams, because when you work hard and strive for something, you'll always succeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Contestant number 9 is Michelle Porter. Michelle, if you were given $100,000, how would you divide it among your community, county fair, and education?
If I were given $100,000, I would give most of it to the schools because they can't afford to pay all the teachers, and that makes us have to drop classes that people are majoring in. Thank you. An experience is only a good one if you go into it with the right attitude. I was recently selected to attend the Illini Girls' Day, a week-long event hosted by the American Legion to engage young women in the state's politics and current government. I left home not knowing what to expect. Would my roommate be weird? Would I have anything in common with any of the other girls? But I wanted to keep an open mind. The American Legion conducted a fantastic week for all the girls. The speakers not only taught me a lot about government, but they spoke to the girls in a way that they would understand. Whether the girls knew it or not, they were learning. I can honestly say that this experience has changed my life. I learned a lot about politics and society as a whole, but in the end, when it came down to it, the memories and the friends that I made are what will stay with me for the rest of my life. Oliver Holmes Jr. once said, "A mind that has been stretched by a new experience can never go back to its old dimension." Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Contestant number 10 is Courtney Kennedy. Courtney, if you were given $100,000, how would you divide it among your community, county fair, and education?
For my community, I would donate it to the hometown Tuscola Chamber of Commerce because they are in charge of all the fun events that I participate in. The second, this fair, I would also donate it to the head of the fair board. And the school education, this year there were some cuts, and I know for a fact that I was very devastated that the IA program was cut, and I would definitely give the money, part of it, to the program so I can participate in it again. Take a moment to visualize the summers of your childhood. You may see yourself at the pool with friends or playing your favorite sport, but I see mud fights, target practice, and sleeping under the stars at Camp Onassauk. Here, I learned as much about myself as I did about leadership, friendship, and all the above. 5 years of this camp has taught me that I am brave and adventurous beyond my wildest dreams. I learned this when I worked up the courage to jump off a cliff in the freezing cold water below. I was able to grow in leadership skills by being a counselor and a member of the Onasonk Service Lodge. Camp gave me the opportunity to provide a great service to other campers and also to learn about backgrounds from the people. I've only had 1 minute to talk about what I learned at camp. Even though I've only touched, I believe everyone should have a chance to get out of their box and try something new. You might surprise yourself with the fun you have and the friends you can make. Thank you.
Thank you, Courtney. And last but not least, contestant number 11 is Stephanie Helmuth. Stephanie, if you were given $100,000, how would you divide it among your community, county fair, and education?
If I had that money, I would divide it equally. That way we could keep all of our sports, all of our educational programs, and our miscellaneous programs. I would help improve the county fair, and also I would help improve my community by adding more murals to it and adding other fun projects as well, and more parades. Thank you. What comes to mind when you think of community? I can tell you what comes to my mind, Arcola. Whether it's at hometown football games, hanging out at Carmen's, or grabbing a cool treat at Dairy Queen, Arcola is always pulling together to support our community. Having grown up in this community and knowing I'll be leaving for college soon makes me appreciate its charm even more. Where else can you find a quaint downtown like ours with shops, restaurants, and bed and breakfast? Where else can you find a community that can bring many generations back for one festival, Broomcorn? Arcola is a melting pot of culture, from Hispanic to Philippines to the Amish. These are just a few reasons why when I think of community, I think of Arcola, which makes me proud to say I am hometown grown. Thank you.